darkest night when our children are asleep. I think about the families of our enemies. Do they feel the same? Believe in their own truth? They must love the children as fiercely as we do. We all share one thing, our hearts were given from above. And the only thing worth fighting for in this world is love. On and on through the years, the war continues on. Why can't we see the truth? We are all one. I know you fight for God, and you believe it's right to risk your home, your life, to face the evil night. But in that darkest night, when our children are asleep, I think about the families of our enemies. On and on through the years, the war continues on. Why can't we see the truth? We are all one.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome. How's everybody doing today? We are kicking off. We're going to be watching the Slitherine Game Next, I think is what they call it, where they basically show off all the new video games coming up on Slitherine, which will be pretty exciting. And obviously today is a sponsored stream as well, so big thank you to Slitherine for sponsoring the stream as well. I really appreciate that. But yeah, hopefully we go ahead and get a good game. Oh, that's the wrong monitor. Give me a second. Hopefully we get some good games announced today, because that would be a great. And I'm also hoping we get to see some more from like Broken Arrow as well. Hold on, I'm just gonna change the monitor thing quickly. Because some reason it's on this. Give me a second. It is display capture. Okay, cool. Done. Awesome. Cool. So basically just going to be tuning in, watching. You guys are watching along, and hopefully we get some good games announced. How's everybody doing today, Bo? How's it going, Monty? Welcome. Thank you so much for the 13 months, man. Really appreciate that. Hope you're doing well and you're progressing on what you said you wanted to do last time we chatted. Hopefully that's going well. But yeah, let me know how the audio is. Obviously, I need to be louder than them so you can hear my commentary. But yeah, we're just going to be sitting back, chilling, watching, and hopefully we get some really cool games announced. This is basically what Slitherine's going to be working on, I believe, over the next like year, which should be pretty cool. But yeah, how's it going, Lee? Welcome. Doombringer, Anakin, Julius, my man, good to see you here. How's it going, Ukraine? How you doing? Tony, welcome. So yeah, again, today's just really a just chatting stream. We're just kind of checking out the new games that Slitherine are announcing. How's it going, Josh, as well? Welcome. Yeah, let me know how the audio is.
A patch delivered every week, which was the joy of our operations team. They really liked it, and I think it's still the case in some weeks that we have like a very frequent.
Oh yeah, there's football on tonight, isn't there? Argentina versus Croatia. Who do you guys have? Obviously, you got to vote for the underdog, right?
We are on the right path. I think that we still need some work, of course, because as the video said, the way to the perfection is a long journey, and definitely is going to be our final destination. We want the perfection for our community, and we are working really hard to deliver and to.
It's a little low. Ready to be a little bit lower. Okay, cool.
So
Next historical game from Total War. When? You losing your patience? I think the next historical Total War game probably be announced in like a year or two.
And in 2023 is gonna be even more beautiful, and we will add few things. And
Thank you for the suggestion, Christian. Or Christopher, sorry.
I really want to give more details.
Gotta let Messi get a World Cup. Nah, always got to vote for the underdog, Josh.
To put any kind of rush on us. So I think that for the big news, we have to wait after the holiday.
Yeah, well, Lucas was saying one thing before that
audio is too low. What about now?
To anything until he was like 100% sure.
Is it a bit better? Can you guys hear them? Obviously, when I'm talking, I should take priority. But
history of being delayed and a number of other things. But I think it's very sensible, and we're going to sort of.
That's exciting, Monty. Good luck with it. And thank you again for the 13 months. Really appreciate the King level membership.
As we're more confident about the stuff to come, and meaning that. We know a lot of things are in the works, but before
just give us more Warhammer games. Slitherine have quite a few Warhammer games already.
Check first,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah. So, Francesco.
How's it going, Black Wolf as well?
Your
got support.
Talk about it.
What's this? Balkans? Oh no, so I was gonna say, what's this? Balkans supporting one another.
Negative
but no, you're vouching for Argentina.
Timekeepers is the other game that really
hey, Monty, what the fuck, dude? Just got over $200 donation. Oh man, that was very unnecessary. I need all the money I gave you over the past 13 months back, so can I have it back? Yeah, sure. Let me just go ahead and take it out of my Seychelles offshore account. That'll take around about 25 to 30 years, and then of course interest. Of course. Dude, thank you so much. That is an insane amount of money to donate to the channel. You're an absolute mad lad. And I really, really appreciate the support over ever since you entered the community. Thank you. Really appreciate that. It's a $200 donation, dude. That is a lot of money. Just for no reason. No reason whatsoever. Very much appreciate it.
What's the best?
Thank you, Monty.
Quality product, and so.
So I believe all the announcements start in like 5-10 minutes.
I mean, for something just born.
So yeah, they're just kind of chatting now, and then we'll get into the announcement soon.
That we talk about later.
Is it still a little bit too quiet?
So I think that
obviously when I'm not speaking, can you guys hear what they're saying? Or does it need to be louder?
I'm really looking forward to share. Yeah, I'm committing. I'm committing. Yeah, I mean, you forced me to commit it when I signed. No, jokes aside, I think that I'm really looking forward to show the first beast.
I mean, how can I forget, Monty? You're a mod now. You can abuse your godlike powers.
I'm really excited about Starcade Timekeepers, and again.
Still haven't got
taking from the same pattern that we used for other games in the past. We want to make.
Unfortunately, no one from the community is invited. I do apologize.
And that's why we're doing all the works we're doing on. And although it seems to be like
he sounds Italian.
Long process,
I don't actually know where Slitherine are based.
Whenever there's a build coming in, we look at it. We're very critical about stuff, right? So we want it to be better all the time. We
want it to be.
How's it going, Killer? Welcome.
Standard that I think the community deserves. So we
definitely going to be.
But I think it could be the good process, the right process.
So what is going to be happening in the next couple of hours? After this, we're going to start a new sort of section of Slitherine Next. We're going to show gameplay of future games. What you've seen so far has been updates on Warhammer Gladius and Battle Sector. You've seen Starship.
I'm sorry, gaming. I'm sorry, gaming legend.
Worlds. So you're going to see new games, so stuff that's going to come later. So the first one you'll see is Headquarters World War II.
Oh, that's what I'm looking forward to. Headquarters World War II.
And again,
that looks really good.
We have a member of staff. I don't know if you've actually seen Julia before, but Julia is going to introduce you to this section with Mark from connecting from Epsom. And
I
and
mean,
then
how
we'll
you
show
know
you,
Monty? That's
action
the thing.
arenas. And what else do we have?
I
Broken Arrow?
think
How's it
we
going,
got
Toast?
Right.
Broken Arrow looks
that
really good as well.
definitely
It's
the
kind of like
audience is
Steel
waiting for
Division,
it.
but
If I'm
on a
forgetting
massive
something.
scale.
Yeah.
Like the battle, because it's modern combat.
Right.
Like the
And
battlefields are like
still growing
kilometers
kingdoms as well.
large, like
So
25
there's quite a lot of
kilometers.
stuff still. So stay with us. So in the next 2 hours, you're going to have
Don't leave.
a lot of entertainment.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. This one's going to be good. So once again, guys, just to remind you all, I am sponsored to watch this from this point on, basically, for 2 hours. And basically just it's all their new announcements, trailers, videos, and everything. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. Now we're talking. So I think it's like a bit like it's like a turn-based World War II game, but unlike a lot of the counter-style games that they do, like Panzer Corps and like other games like that, it's a bit more, well, it's 3D, and a bit more like graphic, which I think is a nice addition. Hey, how's it going, Apollo?
And we are back in the studio. Hello, everyone. And we are now connecting with
Strategy
Mark
Farmville, that's the dream.
From Epsom. He's actually Slitherine senior producer. Hello, Mark.
Broken
Can you hear
Arrow
me?
gaming legend.
Hello, Julia. Can you hear me?
Yes.
One of
loud
the
and
crazy
clear.
things
Hi,
about these
Mark.
games as well is like they're all made for like made
Yes,
by
it's a
like 2
beautiful
people.
Christmas tree,
I feel
Mark.
like Slitherine, if
I'm
they just like
missing
put
you,
all their
Mark.
people together,
I
could
have
make
to
the
tell
most
that.
insane
There.
game.
Yeah, I know.
Blame the airport.
Yeah, I know. And we are also connected with Alexander Sienin. Hello, Alexander. Can you hear me?
Hello, hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Hello, Alexander. Alexander is a COO and lead game designer for Headquarters World War II from the developer Starny Games. Speaking of which, we have a little surprise for you all.
It's always so funny when they don't switch over.
Maybe not, maybe.
And they just have to wait.
But yes, here it is.
French. What do you mean, Apollo? What do you mean by French?
Мене звати Ігор Тимошенко, я очолюю компанію Slitherine.
Hello, I'm Alexander Senin from Slitherine Games. I'm a lead game designer for Headquarters.
Actually, looks like a fairly big team.
I'm Kate.
There's
I'm
like
a
more than like
technical artist
5
in
people
Slitherine.
here.
Мене звати Шевчук Олександр, і я займаю посаду Lead Level Designer.
Hello there, my name is Max and I'm the lead narrative designer at Starny Games.
Всім привіт, я Олександр, я лід 3D-артист Slitherine Games.
Я вважаю, що праця зі Slitherine це дуже добре відображається на нашій компанії та нашій команді, і що ми зробимо дуже хороший продукт.
I'm really happy to work in the video games industry. I'm sure that was probably one of the best decisions in my
You
life.
coming to London? Hell yeah.
I'm
Well, let me know the
very
dates and we can
inspired
organise
by
something.
our company
Obviously,
is
you're
focused on
welcome to
the
stay at
growth
mine
of
for the
our
time you're in,
projects.
and
It's
you
a
can
very
spend
important
time with us, or you can go off and do your own thing. Just, you know,
Для мене це якби
that's
і
awesome, bro.
мрія, яка втілилась, задоволення.
Yeah, if you want to do obviously stuff on your own, feel free to. Don't feel obligated to. But yeah, we're happy to show you stuff. You can stay at our house.
Rather than just read or listen to.
Це моя мрія завжди.
But I shouldn't say that too loud because Monty will get very angry.
I'm in charge of all the game design documentation on the project and also helping managing the team and making sure everyone knows what to do and when to do.
The basic tasks for
See, as I say it, Monty's immediately full caps lock.
Headquarters. For example, I mean UI, portraits, icons, and so on.
Зазвичай, коли я їду на
I
роботу,
wanna see some more
мене немає
gameplay.
чим працювати, але
'Cause I'm pretty
хочу
sure it's like
запропонувати,
turn-based.
що я як тут кипить, як у вулику. Можна сказати, буквально за декілька секунд ти опиняєшся в цьому вирі робочого процесу і натхнення приходить само собою.
In historical strategy games, narrative allows for the dramatization of the historical events, which is not necessarily coming up with something fictional.
You know, a game I wish someone will make, and I'm so insanely surprised that no one has made it yet, is like a multiplayer American Civil War game. I just can't, like, I just don't see why someone hasn't jumped at the chance of doing that. I feel like that's just such an easy multiplayer game.
I hope that gave you an insight of the huge team that is currently
like a strategic one, you know.
And Mark, can you give us a little bit of an update about the development status of headquarters?
Yeah, sure. When the team were in the final stages of development of headquarters, which is a really exciting time in the game's creation. You know, we're now able to play through all the various single-player missions. Actually getting some multiplayer action and skirmish action going is really, really good. It's really coming together. We've had the art pack.
It does seem like as well, Slitherine. I'm not sure if they all their games start using one
really
like
it's really beautiful.
one like infrastructure, but I feel like a lot of Slitherine games really have stepped up their multiplayer recently as well, which is always a good thing. Like I feel like they're starting to really add in a lot more like multiplayer for their games.
So Headquarters World War II is a tactical level turn-based strategy game. And that means that you can expect a realistic scale.
Yeah, it is turn-based.
Its positioning matters a lot, and it's focused a lot on tactics. It's set during the Normandy landings, and we have 3 plot-driven campaign: the British one, the American, and the German. And it also has a very flexible multiplayer for up to 4 players.
Sounds pretty good.
So
4-player multiplayer.
We'll see a little bit later what you're talking about, but I think that we can start from the single-player campaign. So we can see the video of the single-player campaign. And Mark and Alexander, do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, well, there's that. Oh, here we go, gameplay.
Yeah, so what we're seeing here is the first mission in the German campaign.
So it is turn-based, I'm pretty sure.
Playing as the Germans, of course. The Allies have established a foothold in this small coastal town.
Yeah, turn-based.
Your task is to help the German garrison to hold down the town during D-Day. All the missions have a narrative that follows different characters. With you playing from the point of view of...
There's actually a multiplayer, though.
The footage we have at the moment that's just starting, it's the player starting to position his troops on the map. And as you can see, sort of top left, there's primary objectives is to sort of capture 3 key points in the town.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a bit more of a turn-based Men of War.
Objectives within each mission, and more objectives sort of tend to appear as the mission progresses.
No fences were harmed in the making of this video.
Yeah, so here you can see like the allies who are landed fighting with allied German troops that you are.
It's like Normandy.
The town. And as you can see, there is some building collapsing. So I just wanted to bring up one of the key elements of the game, that is the destructible environment. So in the game,
yeah, I mean, a lot of pretty much all Slitherine games are turn-based. It's just kind of the genre. I mean, that's the thing. Most like heavy, complex grand strategy games do just kind of lean into that board game style combat. I mean, there is a new Men of War in development. It does just look exactly the same as the previous Men of War.
Situation on the battlefield. For example, if a house that your troops were positioned in has collapsed, you probably have to look for a better position and so on. So you really have to like follow what's happening and think in advance.
I mean, the thing is, with a lot of Slitherine games, because they are small teams, they don't necessarily like need to make the like insane sales to make a profitable project.
Machine gun action. And as you can see, the infantry in the open is like really vulnerable, but there are some guys hiding behind the truck, so they have better protection, and now they will retaliate with some anti-tank.
But yeah, the game I was
rocket
talking about, which
launchers.
was really cool, was
And you
what
can
is
see the
it?
building
It's
being
like,
damaged. Also, flamethrower units are really effective in close
which is just a real
combat,
shame it doesn't have civil, it doesn't
but,
have
they better dealt with
multiplayer.
from afar.
Yeah, the Grand Tactics Civil War. I think it just came out of early access as well. It's a shame that doesn't have multiplayer. It looks like as well you have like limited shots as well of your guns in this game.
Is the unit management, the headquarters section of the game. So between missions,
See you later, Christopher.
you can sort of choose which units get special abilities to level up, new abilities. You can assign heroes to certain sort of vehicles, and there are headquarter skills that you can sort of invest in and sort of unlock new ones as well. And you do carry an army through from.
I mean, the crazy thing, if there was, is he going to go through the build now?
It's a nice replay.
Oh, he just got the machine guns there.
Yeah, but we also made sure
Of the half track.
This has like no snowball effects, so you know, in this
The
game,
craziest thing about the board game Bolt Action is like the dice mechanic where you
like really heavy like tactical battles, and
where
here
you like
can
take
see,
dice out to take
some
turns.
tank action with like so there are like different types of hits possible.
Yeah, Julius, I agree.
Like depending on,
But again, unfortunately, a lot of these games are just made by small teams, and like multiplayer obviously isn't a priority.
Right corner. And it's really important, especially with armored vehicles, to try to outflank or even attack from the rear, because historically tanks had thickest armor at the front and the weakest usually at the rear.
Sorry, Monty, I only just read your message. Yeah, I'm pretty sure War Tales is getting a multiplayer.
So, for example, here the tank in the back would have a
multiplayer mode, which would be kind of cool.
The enemy. But yeah, so that's
and I'm also
actually a lot of factors to take into account. That's why we've added this like combat log feature, and you can also see the extended version for all the details. But it's also really easy to jump into the game, so it's like I would say.
I do feel like as well, but like that like different activations is actually quite a cool idea. Because I feel like looking at this game, it looks really cool. It's definitely a game I'm looking forward to. I feel like though, what you can do though is like, if it's like you go, I go type thing, I move my entire force and you move your entire force. I feel like you stick something out and the other person just brings his entire army to bear on it. It'll be brutal.
Hiding in the high vegetation, so it offers decent protection to the infantry hiding there. So
gives them a bit of cover hiding in the fields.
Return fire, they kill a couple of crew members in the scout car, so it's one of the another key mechanics.
the poppy seeds are protecting the men from bullets.
Crew members, and basically when
got some scouts, so seems like you do have a nice little range of units, flamethrower scouts.
So for example, if your vehicle lost a driver, you lose a large portion of your movement points. If you've lost
a nice little crew mechanic as well with the tanks.
Attacks. If you've lost gunner, you have less accuracy, and so on. So it's really important to understand, like, and we wanted to highlight that, you know, each crew member is really important, and you know, unit functions only as long
Sherman just moves. Oh, Sherman gets to shoot back.
And here you can see the enemy tanks like taken out our tanks, and the anti-tank infantry.
Seems like that tank got like a reaction shot, basically. I guess to stop something like this to happen, you'd probably have like machine guns set up or something.
So we've dealt with the enemy armor, and now should have
to like cover
defending this town from the Allied advance. But as you know, historically, inevitably, Germans had to do that.
Thank you very much, Alexander and Mark. And that's not all for today about headquarters, because as Alexander was anticipating before, we are also going to see some footage from a multiplayer match. I think this is
I was
the
just about to
first
say, the
time
game
that
probably
we
is going to be
reveal
really fun in
footage from the
multiplayer.
multiplayer. So, Mark, can you tell us a little bit more about that? What are the core gameplay mechanics of the multiplayer?
Yeah, sure. So the game comes with up to 4-player multiplayer. It's possible to play.
Oh, nice little free for all as well.
PBM system, sort of our turn-based system, which can take many hours and days. But the team have also put together a live turn-based system as well. So you can play the game within an hour, and everybody will play their turn one after another. I believe we're going to show footage from a live 4-player game. We have edited it down because I think the game was over an hour. I think Marco would probably kill us if we took that.
Maybe someone else too.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, free for all is always good fun,
I
especially in
think
these
that
type of
we already
games.
saw a little bit of the video, but it's now time to see the multiplayer match. And Alexander, since you were one of the player of the multiplayer match, can you walk us through? We will not say if you won the match or not. We will find it out at the end of the video. But please, can you walk us through the match?
Sure. So here you can see one of the players setting up the game, so choosing the map, selecting how many players will there be, whether this is like human players or AI, what teams they are in. So here everyone is for himself, it's like free-for-all match. And here you can see like 4 victory conditions, different like turns limit, starting prestige,
30 seconds for a turn time, it seems a bit short.
Setups the higher starting level for units, enable heroes and so on. So there are really lots of settings for you to play with. And here we're already in the match. So here is one of the players deploying.
Yeah, that's all you need. Just bring in some tigers. Literally, this dude just. I guess you maybe can recruit more soldiers as the game goes along.
So here you can
and everyone immediately just grabs tanks.
Players who've already deployed their starting troops. But that's not the end of it. So as the game progresses, you gain more prestige.
Yeah, there you go.
And you can deploy more troops at any time. So here you can see
this dude literally just has 4 or 5 tanks.
To capture this new
okay, the half tracks come with infantry.
This allows me to get some extra prestige income. So it's really important, as in many games, of course, to control the flags. And here they bring you not only one of the victory conditions, which is like whoever controls the most flags longer wins, but also they bring
Look at that fucking thing, just a tiger 2. Everybody else has like 6 units, and this guy just has a tiger 2, and that's it.
Many flags as possible, so you can deploy more troops and reinforce your position. So here we can see some of the skirmishes around one of the flags already starting. So, you know, the battle for control is ongoing now. So here you can see the red line is showing line of fire, so you can toggle it on and off. And here you could also see how it's affected by the terrain and by all.
Yeah, it seems like you can just garrison anything, Ellis, in a building, obviously besides tanks. But I'm pretty. They showed off at the beginning that you could just like destroy buildings as well, so you can just like drive through them.
You can see that it's like taking into account all the terrain and everything. And
so
here you can see
Alexander. So there's a number of sort of visual layers you can sort of switch on and off depending how you want to play. Sort of. There is fog of war, there is a sort of line of sight, you can have the grid on and off depending on how much detail you want and information you want.
Yeah, exactly. And here you
I don't know, the graphics don't look awful, for sure. And I think for the most part as well, but like, this game could quite easily have been designed with counters, so it's nice to see them actually going a bit more 3D with it.
Here you can see the grid, but
yeah, because like for the most part, it's kind of like Pantacore, but on a smaller scale.
Toggle it on and off as needed. So same
that tank is about to get absolutely railed by that 88. Oh, it missed.
Like whether you need grid, line of fire.
That's not even 88, it's 90 millimeter.
So yeah, it's really flexible in that regard. And here you can see some of the mortars in action.
Nice animations on the mortars as well on the bottom right.
That was trying to ambush the Tiger tank before. So Yeah, so you can also like zoom in.
I mean, what more could that that 88
these are,
want?
like,
It literally got a direct hit in the side
yeah, so
of the
So
Tiger.
when you're sort of saying zoom in, the camera control, you know, seems it's fairly easy to use. There is little on the mouse scroll. You can zoom in and zoom out with a little bit of extra sort of free camera move on top of that. So if you want to play from top down, you can do, but you can also sort of get in close and dirty to see.
Just that as the 88 just appears.
Yeah, exactly. We tried to make it like really flexible and really to suit like different tastes, different situations in the game. So sometimes you want to zoom in more. To see
The ambush
units in
mechanic seems kind of
detail,
cool though.
or
Just
some
like
battle going
you
on.
obviously don't have line of sight to
You
everything.
would probably play from some mid zoom, and then you can
Does seem the
also
FPS
zoom
seems a bit
out
rough, but
and
again,
see a full top-down
game isn't,
tactical view
you know, it's in its
to,
final
you know,
stages where
better
they start to really look at
graphics,
performance.
better
Because performance is always
view,
like the
better
last thing that
actions in
any
advance.
game devs
So
really focus
here,
on.
we can also see some skirmishes going on, and here you can see that this car with a machine gun cannot penetrate the front armor of more armored car, because you know, even if you land a perfect hit, that doesn't mean it would penetrate the enemy armor. That's why it's really important to have the right gun and, you know, the right angle to attack, and so there the attack was deflected. Here you could have seen the scout unit deploying a smoke screen to basically hide his vehicle and give it extra protection, and it was damaged to try and save it from potential enemy attack. And yeah, so here
Alexander, the two icons to the right hand side, the guy with the bugle and the saluting soldier. What exactly are those?
Yeah, so those are the HQ skills that you can see in the game, and yeah, so basically these two are, one is restoring units morale and another one restoring its crew.
Yeah, so basically terrain matters a
you
lot.
can use those on any of your units on
Like
the
a lot.
map,
Let's
but
see if this
then
one can
it
actually
will be on
penetrate. I haven't seen
cooldown
anything
turns.
actually
So it
penetrate the Tiger
represents,
tank
like,
yet.
you is a commanding officer and some of the options that you have, but you have to be strategic about using them, because once you've used one of these, they aren't available for a couple of turns, and that means that maybe you should have saved it for a more important unit on a different flank that you wanted to, or like, so maybe now is not the moment to use it, or maybe now it is. So that's really up to you to decide, and there will be more abilities, and in campaigns they usually depend on the scenario, but in
Don't worry, Monty.
multiplayer,
Just go get some weird pills from the toilets of any pub or bar,
here you can see the battle
and
for
your
the
performance will go through the
central
roof.
flag,
Don't
so
you
it's
worry.
like the most contested point on the map, probably because all 4 players have access there. So now you see that one player has already captured it, but now the other one attacks.
Yeah, them
with,
mortars are
mortars,
tearing the
sort
infantry
of,
apart.
weaken the unit there, and after bombarding it with mortar and killing some crew and lowering the unit's morale, it uses the scout unit with assault attack to take the flag. So assault, it's like a close combat attack where if you defeat the enemy, you also take the tile his unit was in, and so you know, the central flag has just switched hands. Yeah, so here you can also see some battle against the Tiger
Again,
tank,
deflected.
and as you can see, like, frontal attacks don't work really well against that armor. Here I would also want to highlight this building, because we can like follow the different stages of its just like being undamaged. Now it's sort of damaged.
Yeah, the roof is completely
If
caved
it's
in.
further attacked, it would collapse at some point. So, as I've said, all the buildings in the game are destructible, and you can do that in the match. And they also offer less protection when they are destroyed. So it's a good idea to collapse some of the buildings.
That okay, I think that actually penetrated it. You had to get as close as physically possible.
You were saying that you can, when you set up multiplayer and skirmish maps, you can sort of have various options.
The animations are nice. Yeah, there's nothing going throughout the front armor of a Tiger 2.
There's the headquarters, but there's other things in there to sort of set up your multiplayer game.
Sure. So first of all, like you can either play it as a skirmish, so without other players, like just against the AI. But you could also play all the like skirmish maps against other player opponents, and it's really flexible. So you have 4 victory conditions. Those are focused on capturing other players' starting bases, basically HQs. Then on controlling the flags for the most of the time. So like for controlling flags you gain victory points, and the first player to reach a certain amount wins. Then there is also defeating all the
Oh my god, the Tiger's turned. Yep. Jesus Christ. A Tiger rips through anything. No wonder it costs like all the points.
Then the total worth of the enemy units killed by each player is counted, and whoever has the highest score wins. So it's really important, like not only how many units you eliminate,
should probably
but
turn.
also
There you go.
how
He's gonna turn
expensive
now.
are these units.
Nope.
So here you can see the tank maneuvering with backwards movement and also rotating like to certain directions. So it's really important to use that, like to.
I was gonna say there was an enemy AT gun ready to smack it.
The enemy, and it's also important to utilize this like both backward movement and rotation to keep your units oriented properly and to minimize the damage that the enemy could deal to you during his turn or with an overwatch attack. So this really helped to
where does all the, because I feel like World War II American music is all the same. Like, where did that even spawn from? Because it's not like they were just like blowing the trumpets
calculations based on
as they dive into battle. But is it just because that's like a military parade style music and that's where it kind of spawns from?
But then there are also 3 levels, so like you either don't see units,
yeah, they said that. I mean, I think here probably you won't be able to upgrade your units, but I think on the campaign map, you'd be able to upgrade your stuff.
No details on that, and
give your unit special bonuses.
That you know, like all information about the enemy unit. So if you sometimes saw some red units, those are not fully discovered.
With the variety that you have, sort of setting up these kind of multiplayer missions and skirmishes, I think one of the key things that I've been enjoying is.
Oh my god, that mortar just exploded that tank.
It looks so gorgeous. Is you've got quite a powerful map editor that I believe is going to be released with the game as well. I know I've had a play on it already. So I think from a multiplayer point of view, being able to kind of create your own villages and your own sort of landscapes is quite a big part of this. Being able to kind of create beautiful environments and placing down your.
Actually, I think you might also be able to level up units in this as well.
It's really a big part of the game for us, and we're really looking forward to seeing what the players community can come up with all its creativity and potential for creating.
Hey, how's it going, Joe?
To play, and also if you feel that you could make a better map.
Your bullseye seems like a bit of a crit.
Do the map you want and play it with your friends. So like, what could be better than that? So yeah, we are working on the editor tool, and so that you can make a map and then play it as a skirmish or multiplayer map with other people as well. So yeah, editor is a big part of the project, I would say. And here
Yeah, I'm
you
doing
can
good,
see
thank
that
you.
the tank like missed twice because the enemy unit was behind the tree line.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like
it was
we've got. What do you guys think of the game so far?
point.
I thought we've got a
And,
good
here you can see
good
that,
impression on everything that's going to be involved in this.
Of getting closer to one of the starting bases. So you know.
Because they're coming up to the end of the game now. Looks pretty fun. Definitely a game that could be cool. It's basically just like a smaller scale Panzer Corps in 3D.
Well,
Or like Unity
that's
of
not a
Commander
fair
style thing.
question, because
But more focused in on the battles.
But yeah, here you can see the Panther.
Oh my god, the Tiger 2 got destroyed by having a mortar.
About the end of this like short version of this game. The game, of course, is significantly longer.
No,
here
Alexander.
As in it,
you
it's,
didn't win.
our lead level designer.
as in it's like close quarter combat.
So, good job on this one. But I'll win
Let's have a
another
look.
time.
See, is that on Steam?
Yeah.
I see you won. You won in the units lost, Alexander.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's where I'm best at. Sure.
No, I don't know that game. Doesn't look like it's on
We
Steam.
will see another match of the multiplayer one or another time, and I'm pretty sure that you are gonna win that match. So before going to the next game, we want to share some important
campaign
news
map for a
about
big battle, like Battle of the
Headquarters,
Bulge.
but Mark, I will leave you the pleasure to tell that to our community.
Sure. Well, I'm excited to say we have literally just opened up the sign-ups for Headquarters beta phase. So if you head over to the Slitherine website and sign up, you'll be blowing up buildings and tanks and flaming infantry in a few days.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in
Check
this,
that
go
out.
over to the Slitherine website, sign up to the beta.
Website and sign up to Headquarters Beta. And also, Mark, can we also
You
say
hope Bill
that we are
Clinton
going to
wins
release
this.
game
Shout out
next
to
year?
my
Can we
reformed
say that?
rabbi.
I
Maybe-
bloody well hope so, yes. It'll be kind of early next year.
Yeah.
Yes.
People are asking, so we want to reassure the community.
Gonna
that
release
yes,
early
we are
next
going
year,
to release
apparently.
Next year.
Yeah,
So
it's very playable at the moment, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
In the
mean, from what
meanwhile,
we
you
saw,
can
that looked
sign up
pretty
to the beta,
playable.
of course. And I think that our time is coming to an end. So
Oh,
before
yeah,
going to the
I know
next
this
I
game.
want to thank you guys. Thank
Yeah, I know
you,
the
Mark.
class
Thank you,
combat.
Alexander, for being with us.
I mean, they
from
recently,
remote,
there was
of course.
a,
And,
I recently did a
so
sponsored video for
I want to say
Slitherine,
goodbye.
on
And we are going
one of the combat
to,
games, which was good
see
fun.
in a few seconds another big game with Alberto, and it's Field of Glory Kingdoms. Bye.
Field of Glory Kingdoms, nice. So this is Field of Glory Empires, but medieval, I think, which should be good. It'll be interesting to see if they've implemented the battles in this, because again, you'd always have to export the battle out, which was a really easy process, but still, I think that turned off a few people. So this one will be fun.
So, as Julia said, Field of Glory Kingdoms time. Field of Glory Kingdoms, for all those who don't know about it.
Is it your birthday today, Monty?
4X grand strategy game.
Hopefully not, because you gave me a present. You gave me a Christmas present.
Empires, and just like Field of Glory Empires, it's a WeGo game, which means simultaneous turn-based. We're about to connect with Neil McKenna, who is the producer.
So this one I'm looking forward to for sure.
So
Field
let's
of
see
Glory's
if we
Empire
can-
was really good.
Well, I believe that they need a few more seconds in order to just make the switch. You know, unfortunately, Neil was supposed to.
February 4th, Monty.
Before.
God
But yeah,
damn.
it's no-
Months
but in a way,
away.
Yeah, it happens. All right, so I think we are now live with Neil. So, hello, Neil.
Hello, Alberto.
How do you do?
I can see myself on screen. Hello.
That's a positive thing. So, how are you, Neil?
I am okay. I'm disappointed not to be there. I was really looking forward to coming to Milan.
Milan. Ooh, that's where they are. So you guys are right. They are based in Italy.
But about Chariots and Broken Arrow as well. So really.
Oh, hopefully. Oh yeah, Chariots as well. That's what they're showing off today. It's basically like a Colosseum charity racing game. Looks quite cool.
Yeah, you know, we are.
But yeah,
very
Broken
pumped
Arrow is
on
probably
as
the
well,
big
but
boy.
Yeah.
I'm
as you
looking
say,
forward
let's
to.
make the best out of it. So, can you give us a rundown of the game and how things are going with it?
Well, just as I was plugging in my headphones, I heard you saying, giving a very brief introduction to Kingdoms. So Field of Glory Kingdoms is the follow-up to Field of Glory Empires, which released, I don't know, about 4 years ago, before I was here, certainly. A grand strategy game that was set in ancient times. Our game here, Kingdoms, is set at what you might call the birth of the medieval era. The game starts in 1054, right after the Great Schism between Western and Eastern Christianity, splitting between Catholic and Orthodox faith, an event which
Decent-sized
is still
campaign
having
map.
repercussions today, you could say. There's a lot of finely poised.
Question is though, are the battles
campaigns going on at the
implemented?
moment. There's tension between Normandy and most of its neighbours. The Reconquista is shaping up in Spain. The Byzantine Empire is trying to fight off the Seljuk Turks. So there's a lot.
Are you
of
looking
finely,
forward to the
finely
Harry Potter game,
poised,
Monty?
power balances.
Because they've released some new gameplay of it not so long ago.
As you were saying, we are a turn-based WeGo strategy game. WeGo is not something we do so much of, but it's one of our WeGo games.
Oh no, so we go. Okay, so everybody goes at once. Then.
As the map is showing here at the moment, we cover all of Europe, plenty of Middle Eastern countries.
Again, big multiplayer, but battles, are they
Africa
implemented?
as well.
Or do you have to export them?
In comparison to empires, we have more major nations this time. I think we have about 10 major nations, and the major nations this time, gameplay differs a lot more than it did in empires. So,
Which is always good, because quite a few games nowadays end up just like every faction just plays the same.
the Rus, and so on. They all have very different gameplay styles. Venice too has a unique gameplay style. There's a lot of historical fidelity in the game. We've placed a premium on historical accuracy. I'm sure people will point out plenty of errors in the chat. But it's also worth noting that history here is not destiny. Normandy is not fated to conquer England, whatever happens. The Byzantine Empire is not fated to lose all of its lands. Good players will be able to achieve whatever result they intend to achieve.
Great. I'm really happy to hear about this starting date because it's a very interesting period in medieval history. It's curious that
How have you run into many bugs with Cyberpunk yet, Monty? I feel like people, I still saw people just like having really random ass bugs in that game.
All right, so
Well, indeed, yes, and that's
yes. So that's one of the major turning points that history can shape up in different ways throughout the game. All right, so my first question, in 4X games or grand strategy games in general, you tend to have this paint the map gameplay in which a faction starts to expand and then
yeah, their faction mechanic thing was really good as well. Like I like how their city management was in this game.
So Field of Glory Empires had a specific system to address that. I'm just wondering if you can expand on it and if you can expand on how Field of Glory Kingdoms tackle the topic.
If I was doing sort of a proper marketing presentation, I'd probably also have mentioned that with Kingdoms, we're trying to take everything that was well received about empires and build on that. We're not throwing all those things away and taking a new game.
That feels like you go pretty far east as well.
People like most about empires was the cultural and decadence mechanisms whereby no nation could ever get easily or could never easily get too powerful. There were always breaks on your ability to just roll over your neighbours. More lands to control always brought more problems with you. They place stress on your administration and empire.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, Ares, I felt like with empires, you'd fight like the big battles, and then
all right, sounds good. But
like auto-resolve the rest, kind of like Total War, really.
How do you prevent this mechanic to be frustrating for a player? I mean, you want to reward a player for being successful. You don't want to punish him too hard.
Oh, absolutely. And we're not preventing people doing that. Good players will still be able to turn the map whatever colour they want to turn.
Had one minor one in 5 hours. Nice, that's not bad.
And they will be able to do it here as well. But Authority is what we're calling the mechanism this time. It's, I think, probably more of an integral part of the game than it was last time. There will be the tension between your authority, your ability to control your lands, versus the amount of territory you control, because you will need to control the territory in order to evolve your government up to the next size. In order to reach the correct size to grow your government and grow a more powerful empire, you are essentially going to have to grow out.
Hey, how's it going, Roy? Welcome. So for anybody just joining us, we are just watching the brand new Slitherine Next 2022, which is basically showing off all of the up-and-coming releases for Slitherine. We've had World War II Headquarters. This is currently the next in the Field of Glory Empire series. This is Medieval. We have Broken Arrow coming up, and also a really cool Chariot game as well.
Sea republics of Genoa or Venice or other examples in medieval history. How does it work then? Does the game portray that?
Well, good points indeed. We first announced the game in Venice, didn't we? Venice had some land overseas. I think part of Greece, part of what's now Croatia and so on, but not an awful lot. Genoa, I think, was very localized, but also a very powerful republic, and indeed the two republics fought for supremacy in
yeah, with these games, it's always so interesting, like, can you play tall?
Republics evolve differently, so maritime republics will not have to grab large amounts of land to expand. Their drivers to expand will be much more commercially based.
Basically, it's a type of
governments to evolve.
So basically, it's a type of government that allows you to build tall and play vertically. That sounds very interesting.
Absolutely, yes. As I say, we placed a premium on historical accuracy, so it would seem somewhat bizarre for Venice to take.
That's good, because I feel like a lot of the time you just end up just playing wide anyway. Like, I can't think I can say of a game that has really good tool gameplay.
Huge impact of different government styles. So many nations, groups of nations, have perks depending on their government styles. We'll touch on that a bit later on, but you'll have Byzantine coinage, French chivalry, Russian Kremlin, so on and so forth. So it would be very hard for some countries.
When was the Kremlin built?
It will be essential if they're to keep going.
It was great. You know, the medieval era was famous for feudalism. So I'm just wondering, how does the game handle vassals?
Yeah, vassals are a new feature that we're bringing in here, and they are an essential part of gameplay. I mentioned that the tension between the size of your domain and your authority of
Monty, my man, coming in with another $100 donation out of nowhere. He says, "Call your mum."
won't simplify it.
Dude, thank you so much for $300. That's insane. Thank you, man. You really don't have to. I appreciate the Christmas present, though. Thank you very much. Oh man, it's such a shame as well that the subathon, the VOD was too long, so YouTube didn't process it. Such a shame, because you missed out on so much crazy stuff whilst you were out hunting.
Right, very interesting. You know, there was another aspect of the medieval era which should be prevalent in a strategy game set in the Middle Ages. I'm talking.
Thank you so much for the $300 there, Monty. That's so much money. I really appreciate it.
Another video to show you.
Goes a long way.
Yeah, I want to ask you, how does the game handle dynasties?
So Dynasty again is.
Oh, we got a bit of a Dynasty screen.
It's a new part of the game. The grand campaign is 220 turns, each turn being a year long. So you're not playing as one character trying to seize control.
I think you'll always be a part of the community as long as you want to be in it, Monty. From this point onwards, you don't need to donate.
The currency by which the success of your empire will be judged at the end of the campaign is legacy points, and a strong dynasty is essential to that. I can see we're showing the screen here that shows our dynasty screen. We have sons and we have wives, first of all, rather, before we get to children. We have wives and courtesans. Not sure there are any courtesans on screen there, or in France. Medieval times were even less enlightened than the times we live in today. And women exist in order to produce heirs. And we have sons and daughters too. Daughters, I'm afraid, it is their lot to be married off to other nobles and improve relations with other nations.
Yeah, of course they do, Monty. They're always in the stream, of course. I mean, it's a bit late for Squiddy now. Squiddy's Australian, so it's like 2 in the morning for him. Yeah, Swedish is always in. It's not normally a regular stream day Tuesday. Normally we're Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or just Monday, Friday.
Attributes.
Yes, we touched on that in Empires, I think, but it's a much more defined part of the game now. So all rulers will have administrative attributes.
Playing as Varus now. I wonder, again, I wonder how they deal with battles. Is it just like an export thing again? I assume that's how it's going to be.
Beginners of the game, but each is very important for gameplay. Each is as important as the other. Administration and military, I think, are fairly self-explanatory. They will allow you to run your empire more efficiently, make more money. Military allows you to recruit more units, cheaper cost, and so on and so forth. So the ability of your ruler is definitely part of the factor of their success as a ruler and their ability to create a dynasty.
So I just wanted to clarify one thing, because some of you might be wondering about it. In Philoglory Kingdoms, you play as the country, you don't play as the dynasty. So this is a grand strategy game, it's not a role-playing game, although there are a few role-playing features.
I mean, my stream schedule's been really bad this month. In December's always a month that you want to be focusing on videos anyway over streams. But yeah, January will be much more of a streaming heavy month for sure.
There are many, you have your wife, your courtesans, your sons and daughters, but you also have brothers and uncles as well. Once again, it's very male-centric. They can succeed you, they can be nobles to be part of your lineage. You can name them to specific posts. I think one of our new features, for example, is that you can create all these people a peer of the realm, when you can group a number of regions into a province.
Yeah, that's something, again, more games need to do. I feel like I like the idea of, as you begin the game, you're like really intensely focused on like the regions you have. But as you progress more and more outside, the kingdom gets larger and stuff.
So basically you're saying
I like the idea of then you start like clumping cities together, and like their resources and manpower and stuff all pulled together.
Absolutely, yes. It's as we say, we're not making an RPG here, but yes, you have brothers, uncles. You even have nobles who are not related to you but are powerful, and you need to keep an eye on them overall as well. All of these people.
Yeah, Monty. Now that you're quitting your job, you'll be able to tune into the stream. I expect you to be there every single moment.
So you'll know something about their life
of every stream,
but not always everything.
Personal treasures.
Doesn't it look like as well that people have multiple armies? I wonder how many armies you can raise.
Well, I suppose the main thing you can use it for, they can be somewhat dishonest with treasury. They can divert it towards funding their own armies as well, which a disloyal peer or disloyal vassal ruler with his own army can obviously be quite a threat as well. Equally, a loyal, happy peer or noble.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely. I mean, Slitherine, as I said earlier, are much more based around kind of like the turn-based strategy game. They kind of edge away a lot more from real-time stuff.
You may have a weak son, 2 weak sons, brothers. So managing the succession is an important part of managing your dynasty, and therefore managing the legacy, which is the measure of success ultimately.
All right, sounds great. This character system is very interesting. So basically, what happens is that you need to watch over your shoulder for these loyal vassals, and dynasties can topple your ruling dynasty.
Yeah, I mean,
which
any
means,
time
yes,
as an
you can play,
Englishman,
but,
I can
your country
go
could
in and
get,
conquer
very weakened by
the Scottish
internal
and the
struggle,
Welsh and the Irish.
right? So
It's always a good game.
there's another gameplay mechanic that I want to mention. It represents a specific aspect of medieval era. I'm talking, of course, of religion. So, religion,
And they had a really cool system in Empire as well, where like you're basically drawing buildings out of a deck.
Well,
so not
religion
every,
was obviously a
it's like sometimes you get certain buildings that boost other resources and so on and so on. And sometimes you might just like need a food building but just not get it. And it was a really cool system.
we have 5
It sounds
major
frustrating, but it is actually quite cool.
main branches of the Abrahamic religion. So we have, as I've already mentioned, Eastern and Western Christianity. We have
Oh yeah, of
Sunni,
course,
Shia,
war with the
Islam,
French is
and
inevitable.
Judaism as well.
That comes later.
We also have, for added flavour, there's heretics who can spring up anywhere, including in their own territories, and there are various pagan nations as well. This isn't just, it's a fundamental part of the game. It's not just something to show. Each population in kingdoms is defined by its cultural group and its religion, which is a very important thing if you are seeking to conquer new territories. Religion is just yet another source of friction between you and your neighbours as well. So, religions running up against each other is an important part of the game.
Yeah, a lot of actions.
So depending on your neighbors' religions compared to your own, it can mean that
Yeah, the French smashed the English at the football. They did indeed.
Yes, but in medieval times in particular, with a few obvious exceptions, religions aren't generally rubbing up against each other cheek by jowl. If you're playing as England or Venice, then you're not going to be fighting against Orthodox Christians, let alone against Muslims. So unless you're playing really in Spain or in the Middle East, you're likely.
I wonder if they have a Crusader mechanic as well. Obviously, it's a medieval. When was the first Crusade?
Of the same religion, declaring war against.
Because you start in 1054 and 1274. Are the two start dates? Oh no, that is just the date. The overall date, actually. Sorry. So you play. Oh, there you go. Holy Wars right there.
Play a specific role in the religious game in Feudal Kingdoms.
And you can even play as Georgia. That's always a faction people always ask to want to
does
see.
the Pope play a specific role in the religious game?
Oh yes, the Pope is
1096 was the first Crusade. Yeah, so I wonder if it's like just like it's a holy war, if it's like a big built-up event.
For example, declare a crusade. We'll sort of come to holy wars shortly. A Pope can also excommunicate a nation. The favour of the papacy is hard to win, but very powerful. For example, if you are one of our new colleagues in Poland and you want to declare war against Lithuania, then trying to lean on the papacy to look less favourably on Lithuania will strengthen your hand. But each region, each nation has a piety value. I can't simply tell the Pope that Lithuania, for example, are
Chill, Monty, chill. Don't get me banned on YouTube.
What can you tell us about crusades in Feudal Kingdoms?
So crusade
Here we
is
go.
a bit wider than that. In fact, we have a system for holy wars. So Christianity can crusade, Islam can declare jihad as well, and you'll see an example of that later. This can happen spontaneously, for example, if there's a large imbalance of power between the two faiths. I think we've I think we've seen the religion screen, which shows the balance between Christianity and Islam. We have 5 holy cities in the game.
Glancer and thought we were being botted. Yeah, quickly time out Monty using all his emojis. He's going to tell me of all the hot mums in my area.
Constantinople and Rome for Christianity. When a holy war triggers, it's a bit like a mini world war. 2 big groups of nations can fight against each other, and conflict can expand and keep dragging in other nations until enough time has elapsed and people get sick of it, or until one of the holy cities changes hands. When a war erupts, there will be a lot of special game rules that activate. You'll be able to pass through any Christian nation in times of crusading, for example, because if you had passage rights, equally you might see either crusaders or mujahideen appearing spontaneously in neighbouring territories, in your own territory. They have their own agendas, of course, and we also have knightly orders in the game.
Yes, I'm very curious about knightly orders. Actually, they were very influential in the era. I'm thinking, for instance, of the Templars. Everyone knows about them. So, what can you tell us about knightly orders in the game?
Yes, I think one of the themes of the game is that everybody has their own motivations, whether they're your own potentially loyal or disloyal peers or knightly orders. Knightly orders are like power groups, almost like nations without land. They can implant over time in your own region.
That would be quite cool, Stephen.
Commanderies there, which
a Bannerlord battle
they're both a
crossover.
blessing and a curse in many ways. They will keep you safe.
That would be super cool.
If you're on the frontline territory, they increase your piety.
God damn, that is a lot of cities to manage as a Byzantines. My god. But they did say there was a way to like clump the cities together, so I guess it wouldn't be too bad.
They once the job that they have come to do is done, they may or may not choose to leave your territory afterwards.
Aren't you worried that?
The Crusader blade mode is really good, but I feel like it's really outdated now. I'm not sure if it's stopped getting developed or something.
Well, I think it's a realistic part of life as it was then. They're not invincible. Certainly, you can limit their power. It's going to cost you authority. You can even look to have them executed, as happened against the Knights Templar with Philippe le Bel in the early 14th century. But putting Knights Templar to death may displease the papacy. That is going to make life very hard. Talked about some of the powers of the papacy earlier.
I wonder how much, how many mechanics there are for like, because it seems like there's a lot of mechanics around the papacy. I wonder how many mechanics there are for like Orthodox and Muslim like countries. Do they get kind of the same level of depth, or is it just like heavily focused around
major topic? I wanted to
the
just
Pope?
ask you something really quickly. How can you raise your piety? What are the ways in which you can do that?
So one of the many new features we've barely touched on today is that we have new classes of citizens and population this time. I think it's 6 or 7 classes versus only a couple that we had in Empires. One of those
Also another pretty exciting thing, the economic update for Bannerlord Online is going to be coming out, I think, next week. I think it comes out on the 20th, maybe? 21st, 22nd? Which is pretty exciting.
But the main way of doing it, other than pleasing the papacy, is to build religious buildings. These obviously tend to be quite impressive.
So I'll be back playing that next week.
Simple wooden churches or mosques here. We're talking glorious buildings that will inspire awe amongst the populace and please religious leaders. Quelling heresies as well. Heresies, particularly where you have weak piety, need putting down quickly because they can spread like wildfire. And heretics may even kill your clergymen, so they can be doubly bad for you.
Thank you, Neil. All right, so there is one last major topic that I want to ask you about. There is a small scenario, custom scenario in the game, which is called El Cid. It obviously features the famous El Cid, the Spanish hero from the medieval era. So, Neil, what can you tell us about this scenario?
So one of the complaints I say we had with Empires last time around was we had the huge grand campaign, we had a tutorial scenario, and that was about it.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why you don't see more games like that, Ares, though, is they're just hard to make. They're hard to make because you're basically building two games.
We have the grand campaign, we have 2 smaller scenarios, and then we have this sort of bite-sized scenario we see here, El Cid in 1087. And you can see the entire map there of Iberia. But just because it's small, it doesn't mean that there is not challenge here. So
well, this looks good. I'm interested to see if the battles are still the same or
relationships and the value of alliance.
If they're changing them up.
This scenario.
Hey, how's it going, Jackson?
As you can see, is set in 1087. So this is 1 year.
But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree, Aries. More games like that. As I said, I really want like an in-depth multiplayer American Civil War game. I feel like that it's just such a cool scenario, and it's just perfect for like a 2-player campaign with like campaign battles. That's like the dream.
Gain back their lands.
I mean, whatever happened to the American Revolution game? The American Civil War guys. What's it called? Ultimate General guys. Does anyone know what happened to that game? I feel like it got announced 2 years ago, and then they just said nothing about it, and then got bought by like a Chinese company, and then just I don't know if it got canned. Does anyone know anything about that?
If you play as the Typhus,
I think I don't know what they called it. It was like it's the same guys who made Ultimate General Age of Sails as well. And it was going to be like the combination of all their games. Revolution,
Well, I
it was like American Revolution.
It's not just your enemies that you have to look
with
at.
like messengers and like real-time army movement industry, last known reports of armies, fog of war, like that's, and then obviously the battles.
The Almoravids thought the Typhus were too soft, too Europeanized, not devout enough. So once they get there, they push back the Christian invaders, but then realizing how weak the Typhus are, or they feel they are, they start taking their lands too.
Fun. All right, so this is a 3 ways scenario. So you have the Typhus, the Almoravids, and Castile.
Yeah, we're looking at making it a 4-way scenario. In fact, at the moment. So yes, we have the Castilians and we have the Typhus and we have the Almoravids, but it's called the El Cid scenario. And you can. We are looking to make El Cid playable as well. He plays not unlike the Holy Order himself, travelling around, something of a joker in the pack, I think. So he has his own. He has no lands, but he has his own goals, his own values, and so on. So there's a lot going on this small map.
It's very interesting to hear you compare El Cid to the Joker. But yeah, I'm just wondering, so each of these factions have their own unique traits, right? That really shape the differences between them. What else can you tell us about these differences and these traits that they can gain throughout the
NES title?
Well, for example, the
don't even want to
Spanish
Google that
kingdoms,
EMP.
Spanish Christian kingdoms, just to be clear, have 3 main traits at the start. So they have the Reconquista trait, which helps them conquer back the peninsula. They get a bonus in precious authority when they conquer new regions and build fueros, garrisons in these villages.
That's insane. Look how big that army is. Everybody else is like 23.
The development work which has been going on over the last year has been on enhancing the regional decision system from what we had in Empires, where we had I think 14 regional decisions. We're up to 50 plus now, so they're a much more important part of the game. The Spanish have many more regional decisions containing.
God, I gotta Google it now.
Find themselves in. And there's also.
I just feel like it's such an unexploited.
Nations within Spain.
Oh my god. Looks kind of insane though. Look at that. Considering this game probably came out in like the 80s.
Fight against the Muslim enemy, however, as we said, Nightly Orders can be almost as problematic as they can be helpful.
I can't wait until I have a child and I can absolutely just demolish them at games. I'm going to give them no quarter whatsoever. I've got to learn the hard way.
Typhus and the Cid, are there any more specific?
I'm going to sit them down when they're like 6 years old and start and get them to play Gary Grigsby's War in the East too.
El Cid, I think, is interesting because he doesn't play like.
And give them no quarter.
He roams the land like a holy order. He will have the goal, as he did in real life, of making Kingdom of Valencia his personal lands. So he has a few tools to make playing with him interesting, given that he has no lands. So he can recruit some units directly where he is, as he did. I mean, he's viewed as a national liberator hero in Spain nowadays, but he changed allegiance from Christian to Muslim in the past, and he can do that here, albeit at a cost of authority. And I think perhaps most interestingly for Sid, he can attack without a declaration of war and just go straight in. So most of the time in a turn-based game, you need to declare war in one turn and then a state of war.
So yeah, at the top it seems that we have what, money, population, like industry, religion, authority. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the game looks good. Again, they haven't really mentioned anything about battles, though, and I assume they're not going to.
It's a difficult situation for the Typhus. A lot of the...
Because the battle system in Field of Glory is made by two different teams. There's Field of Glory and there's Empires.
They get a bonus in legacy points. They can build beautiful alcazars, the fortified palaces they had. In the Grand Campaign, you can choose whether to pull in the Almoravids or not, and gain help from other Muslim nations. But if they do manage to unify Spain, then they create the Caliphate of Cordoba, which will give them a huge bonus to what they're creating. Which, within the realms of this scenario, I think it's going to be pretty difficult, but for a good player, it will be achievable.
Sounds good. Thank you, Neil. So before we wrap up this presentation, let me just ask you, is there anything else that you want to share with us today about Field of Glory Kingdoms and where we're at with development right now? What can we expect to see in the coming months?
Well, it's an interesting game because of the way we've gone about development. We showed it in Venice, which was, 7 months ago now. It was sort of a brief introduction to the game. We've been working very hard on it since then. A lot of artwork has gone into the game. You saw the Dynasty screens there, for example. A lot of art power has gone into those. A lot of work's gone into creating the regional decisions. We haven't shown an awful lot of games since, so it's been very quiet. But pleasingly, we're now at a point where we are almost ready for beta. So today we are opening beta sign-ups. And we expect.
Oh man, I feel like they're doing beta signups for everything.
So that people will be able to play it in January.
That sounds great. So anyone wants to hop in the beta?
Well, there you go again. I wonder if there's going to be a beta for every single Slitherine game. That's 2 out of 2 so far.
See more of the game. Neil, I really want to thank you for taking part in this presentation. I'm really sorry that you couldn't be with us today, but you know, there's always a time, and hopefully next time you will be able to get here. Just looking forward to it.
Thanks, Alberto.
Thank you, Neil. All right, so that's it for Field of Glory Kingdoms. We'll be back soon with more news about the game, so stay tuned. I just want to pass the ball back to Julia and the tea room, so we'll be back with more news very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, but didn't mention the battles, which which makes me feel like we're probably, I mean, it's a weird situation because they're like separate games, right? And then I'm pretty sure Field of Glory Medieval is like a
Hello everybody, I hope you're enjoying our live streaming. I'm here with Edmund, that you saw before playing with Master of Magic. Hello Edmund.
Hello everyone.
You must know
no
that
pressure.
No pressure, of course. You must know that while we were here talking about great games, Edmund was there to read your comments, to answer to some of your questions, and also to collect some pretty interesting things that we will talk about now. Questions and also funny comments about our live streaming. First of all, the first question, or better say, the first thing that one of our community members wrote was that regarding Master of Magic, he still have his printed manual.
Yeah, so you best hold on to that because
yes, the 9044 one, of course, 9094 one, of course.
Yeah, it's probably still about 95% accurate. So he's got the Prima strategy guide. You can still use it. So.
Oh wait, so is the new Master of Magic game they're releasing? Is that a remake? Or a remastered remake?
Wonderful. Also wonderful.
So that just says it came out today, right? Or tomorrow? Comes out this week.
Actually, Master of Magic is as old as I am, so.
Oh, I guess so. Because I'm pretty sure they're releasing a new one.
I'm not touching that one, folks.
Also, speaking about Slitherine team that we are before, one of our member of the community told that this music he's making, he wants to visit a dinosaur-themed park.
Yeah. So when it comes to the Slitherine theme tune, we spared no expense.
And then a question I can.
But yeah, like what I was saying as well with like the battles about Field of Glory Empire is it must be weird because again they're two completely different dev teams, and it's not like it's like oh Creative Assembly have two dev teams working on different projects. Like it is two completely different studios, so. I guess it's like maybe something they just add on at the end, like, oh, we also made it compatible. But then also, Field of Glory 2 Medieval, whatever it is also like a DLC for the game, so then it gets even weirder. Because everybody's complaining how Legends of the War's going on his crusade to make Immortal Empires free for everybody, even if you don't own the second game.
What improvements will come to planetary supremacy?
So we can't talk about what improvements are going to come just yet, but the development team, and they've also said this on our forums, they're going to make that a strong focus in the near future. So those of you who are holding out for more planetary supremacy action, it should be coming in the near future. So I hope you look forward to it.
Great, that's great. And then you also collect something one of our followers said about the Starship Trooper Servant Command. He wrote, sounds like a really good fun. Much love, Slitherine. Thank you. You made.
Yeah, I also they also recently released a Starship Trooper game as well. That's quite good. That's real time, isn't it? Or is that also turn based? I feel like that the Starship Trooper game they just released or recently released is real time. Starship Trooper, is that what it's called? Am I making that up? I think I'm making it up. Whatever it's called, you guys know what I mean. Yeah, it is real time, yeah.
And
which is quite cool. Because that could have easily have just been turn-based, right? And been like the Warhammer game, the Battle Sector.
Let's go with Ancient Arenas Chariots.
Okay, I'm actually quite looking forward to this game as well. Ancient Arena Chariots. That actually looks kind of cool. Let's go. It's like Tokyo Drift, but you're riding a chariot. I'll tell you what they need to have more of is like Football Manager, but Ancient Chariots Racer Manager. That's a simulator I would play.
Now, I'm the world's biggest fan of Quadriga, so I'm super
Turn it up a bit as well, sorry.
With Patrick now.
Hello, thanks for having me today.
Patrick is running our studio over in Poland, in Warsaw, and so you're looking after Ancient Arenas and, of course, Stargate as well. Before we jump into the game, let me tell you a couple of things. Now, Ancient Arenas Chariots, of course, is a game that starts on the back of the success of Quadriga, and we've been working very hard to make it a very modern experience, and instead of
customize your horse
on the original one, we're sort of try to bring it to the next level. And bringing it to the next level means that I think we've sort of noticed from the little intro trailer, that we're trying to make it fast-paced and super exciting. The chariot racing wasn't really boring, and somehow it wasn't a very strategic race type of race. It was
but most of the gladiator games, Monty, like that. It's like you actually just end up fighting as the gladiator, right? I want pure simulator.
What we've seen here
I want
is
to dive into the
game,
spreadsheets.
we've just put together with our team in Ukraine, and we have what we're trying to achieve here is trying to give it a modern feel, and also sort of take it to a NASCAR type of look and feel as well, because that was the chariot racing at the time. It was very fierce and very hard and gritty as well. Lots of dead people, lots of injuries. It was a real sport, but it was not a sport that you would practice nowadays. Now, Patrick, what did you bring to us today?
So today I would like to show you footage of one of our game modes. It's called
There's no one in
Race.
that chair.
It's a game mode where we can set up everything from
Apparently they were having loads of issues getting this stream set up. There was just loads of problems, all the flights were cancelled. I think that's why that guy wasn't flown out here, because his flight got cancelled because of the snow in the UK.
It's a one-time race.
And like their live streams were all messed up. So I think they're running on a quite a quick turnaround when it comes to production.
Footage and see what you have brought to us.
Yes, so this is the main lobby of creating the quick race race. And for the start, we choose one of 4 main regions.
Okay, answer me this. If you could be in one of these 4 regions
available there.
In history, in ancient times, what one would you pick? Hispania, Rome, Macedon, which is all of Greece, or Egypt?
So here we're gonna choose Spain. It's one of my favorite regions.
Imagine living on the Nile would be pretty nice.
The Spain region
just have to kind of dodge all the alligators.
And I think we're going for the 4 lanes track. So that means we're gonna have 4 different
I feel like Egypt would be a nice place to grow up as a youngling.
Set up how many laps
just tending to your farm.
Because sometimes in the fierce sport, which horse racing.
Heading out now, Toast. I'll see you later, man. Thanks for hanging out and just lurking.
Is a key part.
Have a good sleep.
Also, here we can set up if we want to have some obstacles on the track, because not always the track was in the pristine quality.
Good, I'm glad.
What is an obstacle on the track?
It can be everything, like a puddle of water, or maybe some kind of stones falling from the track.
Your best bet is Rome.
They didn't.
Hey, I mean, I'm currently watching a series of documentary about Hannibal in Rome or Italy. And let me tell you, being a random person whilst Hannibal's just roaming around the countryside isn't a good time.
Turn-based mode. In the turn-based mode, we play the game in the turns when at the end of the turn time stops, and in the
hey, how's it going, Crisis?
Dynamic mode, the time never slows so badly, so we have to make a quick decision. So here we have footage of how we pick a chariot. There are a few different setups we can pick, and the differences between those setups are 2 major things. One of them is a set of skills that our Auriga has. Some of them are able to maybe crash into another chariot in the lane next to it. Others are able to whip the enemy horses to make them go faster, and some of them are able to be the fastest one driver on the track. So the other difference between them is the basic flat stats they have, how fast they will accelerate, how well they will brake, and how much damage will they actually do to the enemies while attacking them. So yeah, we decided to go with setup that has that cool wolf pelt helmet. It's one of my favorites, so I decided, why not? I will go with it. This one particular Auriga cannot go too fast. He cannot double whip the horses to make them go faster, but he's really good at attacking the enemies. Which
so this dude is just like, I'm going to kill everybody, even if I'm last place. It'll be first because there's no one else left alive.
We also choose the AI players that will take part during the race, and we are ready to go. So on the track, we are starting this race from the lines. We can see who are our opponents right here. We can see what is their sigil, and this particular one outlined guy, here we are. And,
yeah, you need to have like RBs on the side of your chariot. Got to get that ad space.
You can see how far will I go by choosing this one or this one. Here I have a choice between the normal acceleration and whipping. Whipping is gonna take me more further and faster, but whipping your own horses may
be sponsored by Pompey.
So
God damn.
I don't want that, and I will start with.
So yeah, they said there's real time and also turn based.
You can see that we have a dynamic camera. We can change angles of it. We can see everything from behind of our Auriga. I will have fun a little bit with it to show you that you can adjust it however you want to capture the best moments.
Looks like a pretty fun game, honestly. Obviously, the main thing is like, how much does this cost? Like, does it have like a campaign mode where you're like building your chariot race? You're gonna start off in Division 6, then you're gonna work your way up through the divisions.
To take a fight, because I cannot go left, I cannot go right, I cannot change the lane. So how about making it worse for my opponents? So I decided to whip my enemy because the curve is close, and sometimes going too fast is not good for them. Oh, this time I slowed him down because I can decide if I want to make him faster, to make him maybe roll over on the curve, or make him slower this time. Yes, and now we are going to one of the most important decisions in the game. How do I want to play it on the curve? Because, as I said before, going too fast may cause me to roll over. I don't want it, so I've decided to pick a control.
Oh, that dude's coming round his flank.
Allows me to control my
absolutely outplayed. Oh, and he just caught up.
Slip to the track next to me, and here I am again, stuck between two enemies. What I'm gonna do? I decided this time to slow down the right one because I'm faster than the chariot on my left. I eliminated the enemy on the right, and now I'm gonna do a little trick. I will try to block the enemy on the left. This way, he's not gonna, for sure, not gonna pass me in his next turn. But now I'm going really, really fast. What I'm gonna do, because I'm on the most inner lane of the track, it might be risky for me to go this fast on the track, but sometimes a little bit of luck is really needed. And I'm just taking a risky decision.
There's still another lap left, I think.
Looking at the mini-map, I can see that most of the competition is behind me, but there are these two guys that can catch up to me, and I'm trying to take that risky decision. Okay, let's go full speed, most inner track, and I wish the best if I manage to
Yeah,
survive.
I mean, that is Tokyo Drift right there.
I did it. My chariot got
He was the
bit
DK,
damaged. I
the
lost
Drift
a
King.
little bit of my speed, but that was the risk I took in order to gain advantage over the enemies. Now, I tried to block my enemy again, but he was smart and decided to go to the track on the left. So my decisions are, he's going fast, I need to block him again. And this time, again, I managed to do this. He's whipping his horses, but because of me blocking him, he's not able to pass me. So yeah, I was trying to catch some cool views with our dynamic camera. It's one of the features I really like.
That's the best type of propaganda right there, EMP.
Is, what we like in the racing, and why don't we do this in?
Is there any way to like attack behind? Can I throw like bananas behind me?
So,
where's the magic star
really
that I pick up?
Past me. So
on my shells.
This time I need to take a risky moment again. And this is one of my favorite moments of this footage. We can see me going.
Yeah, he's almost tipping.
Really bouncing a little bit to the right, trying to hold on as much as I can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm currently actually just learning to drive right now, so I'll definitely take these chariot tips and incorporate them into my driving.
And the eternal glory is ours. Right now, I'm trying to, that's my favorite tactic actually, to block the enemy way so they
jam a peeler in the wheel. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I wonder as well, like if
picked up the
like how the
much faster than mine, so I have to use some tactics in order to
like how often you get to actually choose your stats, like your movement.
He was forced to go outside. So it's really good for me because going outside, most outside circle, makes him go a much longer way than it's gonna be with me. So once again, taking the curve this time it's much safer because this is not the most inner one. And the final straight for me, Eternal Glory, just in a 2 more moves is ours. The public is cheering for us. We are whipping horses a little bit just to make it much faster. And victory!
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah, so the game looks interesting. Again, it just really depends on if there's like an expansive campaign or.
Exciting, and I have to say,
looks
it's
cool,
really
though.
cool to see the AI working with against you, but. You know, that is one question, and you know that's the most important one. What you're working on for multiplayer?
Yes, the multiplayer, we will have the multiplayer implemented. We will be able to race with our friends just as I raced with AI right now. We can set up everything we want, every race every detail of the race we want, and we can create our own, I don't know, league even. If we want to race with our friends, takes a note, everybody agrees to
Grand Prix Chariot,
and we can race with them.
All right, well that's great. And how far are we from the end of the development cycle? Take a guess.
Take a guess. I believe in the next year, at the beginning, we will try to do some testing. So yeah, in the next year, beginning of the next year, the game will be there to test it, and in the future, soon.
So beta testing coming soon for Ancient Arenas Chariots. It's a really exciting game, something that goes a little bit outside of the boundaries of our traditional games, but I'm really excited about it. So good luck also for Slitherine Poland and all the new exciting adventures that you have ahead of you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And we're going to have Broken Arrow coming next. So
cool. This is the big boy. This is what we're all looking forward to.
A bit more modern and contemporary. I can see Felix waiting on the other side of the room. So without further ado, let's take a look at Broken Arrow.
Cool. This is what we're looking forward to. Yeah, Crisis. It's kind of like Warno, but on a larger scale, or like Steel Division, but it's modern era, and it's on like a much larger scale. I think the battle map's supposed to get up to like 25 kilometers. It's like the main pull of the game is that it's like those games, but like massive. I wish I did this whenever I hit my PC on. That I just evaporated and turned into this.
And welcome back with Broken Arrow. I'm here with a special guest, Felix Haber.
Hello.
So,
oh, this man's going crazy. Look at him. 3 buttons down. He's ready.
Broken Arrow last year, we had an amazing response, such an amazing feedback. There is so much anticipation about the game. So my first question, Felix, how is development going?
So development's going awful.
Where we at with development?
Well, actually, it's going really well.
Imagine it's like, yeah, development is falling apart, to be honest.
We have almost all our gameplay mechanics ready at the moment, and
I wish I could grow a beard like that.
As well. We are now working on.
Except this is all I've got. This is all I've got in me. This is like 2 months of growing a beard. I need to like inject testosterone into my cheeks.
To work on the improvement.
Get like a hair transplant.
The multiplayer performance and stuff like this. This summer we have conducted a multiplayer playtest with our Patreon members. So they have been able to put their hands on the game for a bit more than a week. They have tested a basic multiplayer situation, and this was an important milestone for us because this was the first time people external to the studio had their hands on the game, and so
someone mute his mic.
Losing to a technical issue.
You're losing parts.
Yes.
So yeah, it's an important milestone for us because we wanted. Well, we had feedback from them, and the feedback was really positive. So this has reassured us that we were in the right direction. So we continue to work in this direction. And
yeah, definitely Mr. Steal Your Girl, rocking with his open shirt, goddamn manly beard.
To play a demo version of the game in the following months. So I'm not telling too much now. There will be more information coming early next year. So
nice, by the sounds of it, probably a beta. As the last 3 games have been talking about betas.
Yes, we finally fixed my microphone. Sorry guys, dangers of a live show. But yeah, we fixed this. You know, it's like game development sometimes. This happens. All right, so without further ado, what are we going to show today?
So first, we are going to show a small trailer video about. This is the first video of a series of 8 videos we're making about deck specializations. So deck specializations. Let's go back to what they are. One important part of the game is the army building part, where you select units that you will use during the battle, and the type of units, the roster of unit that will be available to you depends on the specializations that you have selected. So.
I'm really surprised that none of these games like Warno, Regiments, Steel Division, Broken Arrows, I'm really surprised none of these guys have gone with like the Avatar Conquest style of like development, where like you play matches with a deck list or with units, and then you can upgrade them as you progress through the multiplayer matches and like give certain units special bonuses. So did the stream go down? No, cool. Good. Keeps on what's happening? Refresh the stream maybe? Oh, keeps lagging. No. Yeah, well, Tom Clancy End War, that was a legendary game as well. Like, I'm surprised none of these devs have like gone in and tried to do something a bit more like that, you know? Is this me? Go down to 760. Oh, gross. Sorry about this. Do they have a YouTube stream up, maybe? I think it's a Twitch thing. Slitherine. Typed in Slitherine, it just came over I'm a snake video. I'm a snake. Yeah, YouTube probably better. See you later, Twitch. Yeah, so you can like see the scale of the game is goddamn huge. So you're going to be walking down a street and you're just going to get hit by a drone strike or an artillery strike from like off map 100 kilometers down. Like literally you're going to be in like Ukraine and then all of a sudden you're going to get hit from a like a continental ballistic missile from the UK. But yeah, like I really think it would be cool if they did add like that, because I feel like these games are so perfect for it. You're basically building a deck, so let me improve that deck as I play more with it. The YouTube stream seems to be fine. Seemingly they had some issues though, and that's what they're sorting out now. But yeah, like I feel like these games are so perfect for like an army builder as you progress. Because like the online matches are fine in these games, but like there's no harm in giving you some more like customizability. Maybe as they upgrade, you can give them better equipment, or you have more options to like outfit your guys, or they have certain perks or something. I feel like it would be so perfect for games like this. Yeah, they must be having some stream issues. Check that it's not just a YouTube thing.
Announced that.
I mean, I guess we can go back and watch the trailer again because we missed a lot of it whilst they sort it out.
Tech specializations. Let's go.
Yeah, this is the tech issues. You're now experiencing technical issues. A crisis. Have you been playing much 40k recently? Have you been playing much? Or are you still playing bolt action and stuff? I mean, one of the things, I don't know, especially in like more modern era styles like this as well, is like the time to kill is just so quick. But again, by the looks of it, it's more scale based. So instead of like one tank, you're going to be commanding a squadron of 8 tanks, like a regiment. I don't know what the breakdown is, you know. Like, you know, there's never just like one. There's a BT there, but look at this. You're commanding like a squadron of these carriers, and I think that's what this has over a lot of the other games is the scale of it. Like, I feel like as well, like that's a good way of getting around like the sheer volume of micro these games entail, is like just expanding. Like it's something I feel like Total War should look into, because like the scale of Total War is decreased over the years. So I wonder how like I think it'd be cool if they just like kind of combined. Oh, they're just showing the trailer again. Yeah, like I think Total War could do a good job by like basically condensing it. So instead of commanding one unit, one cohort of 80 men, you're commanding, you know, 3 cohorts. To lessen the micro, it will allow you to expand battles so much more. They model morale so units just don't run into the meat grinder. Yeah, I mean, that's like one of the, in like actual combat, morale is like the be-all end-all. People don't, like, unlike when when we're playing Bannerlord or something and people are just like running into the enemy. That's not how battles worked. I wouldn't just charge at the enemy, you know. It might be smart tactically as on a grand scale to do that, because that way you're going to be able to push the enemy back way more effectively. But it always, like, you always forget, like, the actual... I don't want to be stabbed, so I'm not going to be, like, an inch away from someone and try and fight them. You know, I'm going to be a little bit cautious. I hear being stabbed is not nice. Though I am from England, so it comes as a rite of passage to be stabbed. Yeah, the game's supposed to come out next year. What about going to Valhalla? Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure even Vikings didn't want to, like, die. You know, if they died, they died, and it was a honorable death, but I'm sure they'd want to fight as long as they could. So we are still live, yeah. Technical issues, it seems. But yeah, it looks really good. Again, we can look at the I think it has a Steam page, right? Broken Arrow. Yeah, just coming soon right now. But yeah, like the scale of it is, yeah, pretty dope. If any, like massive pictures of it. And yeah, it does kind of like, this like kind of reminds me of End War a bit. And you can see all the different types of the tanks as well. Like the extra armor plating and stuff around them. Yeah, so I imagine it would be quite similar to these games. How is like Regiments and Warno getting on? Is Regiments World War II? It is not? No. Cold War? Yeah. And then what? Warno is also Cold War? Yeah. Funny, innit? It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Yeah, I mean, the Cold War era of combat doesn't really interest me too much, to be honest. Like, I kind of get a bit bored with combat, probably past, like, World War II. Maybe, like, Korea is, like, the last...
Alright, so
we're back.
Sorry for these technical issues. They tell me that it's related to Twitch server issues, so it's not even up to us, but yeah.
Yeah, just go on YouTube, guys. Better streaming platform.
Apparently, we were live anyway on YouTube and Facebook, so that should be fine. I'm not sure if everyone was able to look at the video, but we're looking into showing it to you as soon as possible. In the meantime, I believe that we have some screenshots to share with you from the trailer, from the new US Marines units. And I wanted to ask you to elaborate a bit more on the Marines specialization and the different units that they can have in Broken Arrow.
Yep. So generally, the Marine specialization is very versatile specializations. They are much more specialized, but we will reveal them later. They have, so I go category by category of the deck. So we have in the recon, well, let's go by screenshot in that case. So this is a V22 Osprey. That will be in the helicopter.
I know, Aries. I mean, why do you need recon? Just like, why can't I just put like a satellite in my deck in this game?
Like it can transport infantry to the battlefield. This is the fastest.
Let me use Starnet.
So if you need to make an early deployment, this is the helicopter to go. So other helicopters that are present for the Marines, we have the series of the H1, so the latest version, which are more like the H1W, which is the Super Cobra, and H1Z, the latest version, which is the Viper Cobra, well, Viper, period. And so these helicopters, they can be equipped with different loadouts. You will select not pylons per pylons, but per symmetrical pairs of pylons. What you put on them, so it can be rocket pods, 70mm Hydra rocket pods, in the unguided version, also in the guided version, which is called by the nice nickname of APKWS. And you can also put the Hellfire missile in them, so it's a top attack anti-tank missile. And depending on the version of the Cobra, you will have some extra flares or countermeasures that you can install on it.
So by the sounds of it, you'll be picking like your decks will be like airborne based or kind of tank based.
AGM 122.
And on the other games, you kind of pick more specific, like I want to play the 18th Russian army. You're like picking like just kind of like what you want to build your army, and then they have access to certain things.
King Stallion, so the K version. There are also lighter helicopters for recon. You have the UH-1 series in its latest version, the Venom. So it's much lighter. You can put just a few rockets, miniguns on the side port eventually. So
and also ships? Question mark. There's like a destroyer out there.
It's a lot of variation. You have small, big, heavy transport. The heavy transport helicopters can carry vehicles to they can sling vehicles on the battlefield. And in addition to that,
yeah. Can I just have like intercontinental ballistic missiles? I fire a missile from the United States in a battlefield.
25mm.
Well, it's like back in the day in 40K, there was a rule with the I can't remember what the gun was called, but the Imperial Guard had a cannon that you'd roll scatter dice for, and it could scatter to other people's tables. So you could fire your gun in the game, and then it would scatter off and actually hit someone else's table.
Straightforward, yeah.
Yeah, well, we have amphibious capability in the game, and the Marines
The
are
perfect army, Monty, right there.
We also have the replacement of this vehicle, which is a wheeled vehicle. And the name is escaping me. I think it's the ACV, Armored Combat Vehicle, I think.
Well, I'm pretty sure that some fans in the chat can...
Yeah, they will
fill the
correct
gaps
me
if
or
needed.
stuff like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the ACV because there is 30, so ACV, there's the basic new battle barge version, but there's also one with the 30mm turret.
Yeah, but the problem is now you don't have any scatter dice, right? So you choose where the gun shoots. Whereas back then you had no choice.
Stuff like that. I won't go in the details of absolutely every unit.
Yeah.
And they transport with infantry. So what kind of infantry does the Marine Corps bring? They have mainly the backbone of this specialization is the Marine Rifle Squad, which is a 30-man rifle squad equipped with M27 rifles, plus Carl Gustav and, well, designated marksman rifle and stuff like this. So, but mainly like the new rifle that they got recently, plus the Carl Gustav.
So it seems like it's kind of up to date.
Units for that. So the guy carrying the small rocket launcher, so a smaller squad with dedicated to support, like it's both anti-tank and anti-infantry rockets. So you're a bit of a glass cannon with this guy. Less people, but much more firepower. And then all the support stuff that...
Appreciate the loyalty, Jackson.
And interesting, and yeah, also the recon is quite good for them. You have, well, dedicated infantry recon with the Marines Force Recon, We also have the Scout Sniper as a unit, which is super stealthy. People imagine the sniper as the killing machine, but generally in practice it's not. It's you just have a good rifle, but just a rifle. So when you're fighting,
yeah, but dude's beard is
the role of the sniper
very
is
very
mostly
nice.
to stay as stealthy as possible, sneak in the enemy lines, use laser designation to
Yeah,
point,
you have no choice in Mamata
bombs
Crisis.
or missiles very precisely on the unit to ensure first shot kill on them. And once again, I mentioned the LAV-25, which is in the recon section. We also have an interesting drone in this with the Fire Scoot. It's a little drone, unmanned helicopter that is used for recon. And we also have the Triton or Triton, I don't know how it's pronounced in English, sorry.
Probably Triton. I don't know, I'm not sure though.
Which is like
I think so.
much more high altitude drone, an arm that is really here to.
It's kind of cool because yeah, not too many games. I guess there's not that many
And finally,
like more modern
interesting,
games.
category for the USMC,
So
how the number
it's
of
cool that they're
planes
adding in
we
like
have.
drones and stuff, which is like the future of
Because,
warfare.
In fact, for the USMC, we have also added some units of the US Navy to them because it fitted very well together. And so you have the US Marines planes. So
You get like a full-on modern $6 billion carrier.
currently being replaced. You have the F-35 to F-35B in the case of the USMC that is replacing the Harrier. So
Yeah, I guess the US Marine Corps gets some carriers and stuff to.
They just have generally helicopter carriers, so
Helicopter
they need
carriers.
a plane that is able to take off vertically or on a very short runway. And so we have added a few more planes because that was a bit
Yeah, play
bigger
the
for
Vietnam
them.
music
So we have
now.
some Navy planes. So we have the Hornet, which are Marines planes starting from bases or from carriers, but we also have the Super Hornet, so the biggest version of the F-18 that is normally used by the Navy, plus the different version of the Super Hornet, like the Growler, which is a seed plane, so suppression of enemy.
As I said again,
defense,
like it's like a squad of
enemy
helicopters as well.
So it's a plane
So
dedicated
again, I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like
of
that's the
enemy anti-air. So a bit of a counter to the counter.
more of a
and we
thing.
have
Vietnam wasn't the 80s, yeah, it was
the
the
Navy
60s,
SEALs,
60s.
which,
Yeah, 60s. That's my.
a good addition to them.
I mean, I should really keep track of all the wars America loses.
In support, we have
you know, I should
stuff
know.
Like, let's start from the basic. We have the LAV-M.
But yeah, I'm gonna say
mortar,
60s.
So 80 millimeter mortar on a LAV platform. We also have the LAV-AD. This one is a prototype that never made it into production, but we included it anyway because it was working. It was in testing phase. It just got cut because of budgetary reason. So LAV-AD, it's a LAV platform with I think it's 25 millimeter Gatling gun plus 8 Stinger missiles. So good anti-air. It's a SHORAD platform that the Marines will have. And in terms of artillery, we have the HIMARS that got a lot of publicity recently. Plus we have ground-launched Tomahawk also that are very interesting to play. So it's cruise missile.
Yeah, there are some cruise missiles then.
Ground skimming missile that will be able to.
I wonder if they'll have like IBM
follow the
defense
ground,
systems as well to
one
shoot
thing
a
low
lot
to
of these
avoid enemy
missiles out
defense,
the sky as well. There you
and
go.
to strike wherever you want on the map, as long as the enemy doesn't have some SHORAD of its own to intercept it.
Yeah,
Sounds
so
great.
maybe you will also be able
that's
to
a lot
shoot
of
down
units
the
for one
missiles as
division,
well.
And there are 8 of them, and as you were mentioning before, the customization system is incredibly deep. So there's such an amount of content in the game. But yeah, you know, those screenshots are really good, but people are still waiting. Some people are still waiting to watch the actual video. So I believe that you are now ready to give it another try. So shall we?
We'll watch the video a third time. Yeah, I doubt they're showing gameplay. Yeah, imagine no. Oh no, actually we're getting gameplay. Yeah, actually we're getting gameplay. Cool. No, no. Yes, no. Is this the same video? I feel like it's different. I mean, that looked like a carrier. That didn't look like a small scale, like, vertical landing and launch carrier. But yeah. I mean, there are so many more defenses, right? With, like, flares and smoke and stuff. I think it's the same video. I remember the... Oh, yeah, it's the same video. I just didn't remember the beginning. I think it lagged at the beginning last time we watched it. But yeah, I mean, obviously in more modern warfare, the warfare is so much more deadly that you need, like, greater defenses. Yeah, they definitely did, because that missile got shot out of the sky. Oh, this game is already hurting my head looking at it. Trying to micro all of it. Look how far away the artillery is. It's like halfway across the map. Be sitting in my house having a cup of tea and just being hit by a 105mm rifle.
And we're back.
Yay.
So we couldn't see the comments from the chat, but I can only imagine that they are going crazy. Felix earlier, he spoke a lot about the Marines units. So as you could see in the video, the game is getting there. And those were the Marines. So we have 7 more videos like that planned in order to show you.
So there's going to be 8 different factions.
Specializations available in Broken Arrow. But that's not all that we want to show you today, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. This was just the starter.
Yeah, that was the starter. We have the main course coming because we have a 35 minutes gameplay video, so it's really real gameplay. We recorded ourselves playing, not a trailer this time, so you will have the occasion to see the real thing, get your opinion on that.
Yes, it's an adulterated
Nice.
single-player mission from the single-player campaign. So, before we watch it, what can you tell us about this mission?
Well,
Yeah, I would, Crisis. I'd specify them.
It's a mission with the Marines, so you will see them in action. All the units that have, well, maybe not all of them, or at least a big part of all the units I've described earlier. We will see them in action, see how the playing works and plays. And I think we will.
In a game
comment on
like
the
this, I
video
would.
when something's interesting happening.
Yes.
When, like, the Marines aren't just one unit, they have a completely like I would specify it a new faction if it's got a completely different roster. And I feel like this game would.
Let's watch this single-player mission. So, what can you tell us? What are we looking at right now?
All right. So, well, first thing to mention is that this entire mission has been made with the mission editor, the scenario editor that will be shipped with the
Yeah,
game.
look at the
Everything
goddamn
you see,
scale of
the
this
camera
game.
movements, the cutscene, spoiler. Everything you see is made with.
I wonder how much like
with
Fog
the
of War, because like
scenario
a Fog of War, I
as a
imagine like
player,
scouting is like the
you will be
biggest part of the.
to do that.
Well, it's a bit
And
grainy.
Also, second disclaimer,
Twitch
as
is
you can
better.
see, they are still work in progress
Yes,
elements.
there are some placeholders, but that's fine.
Oh,
We
like
don't have the
compression on
voiceover because
YouTube
we
is
record
horrible.
that at the very end, so everything will be voiced that you can read in the game. At the very end, so
Or is-
everything will be voiced that you can read in the game.
So, what is the tactical scope of this mission? What is the player?
No, yeah, so we'll go back to YouTube. It's a little bit more grainy, but it's not lagging.
What are the objectives of this mission?
So,
You're forcing me to spoil a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
no,
yeah.
The situation is the following. So you have the main Marines force that are waiting, that are in fact willing to land, approaching with the ships, with the landing crafts. So your mission is to destroy this artillery battery. But since it would be very simple to send just send the planes and bomb it, except that's not so simple. There is an anti-air battery protecting the artillery battery. So what's happening is that a group of reconnaissance and infiltration.
Yeah, I assume the Marines are gonna go forward
on the other side of the peninsula to take out the anti-air first, and once it's done,
you can mount the buildings as well.
The goal. This is the moment.
I also assume you can like level these as well.
Once the anti-air and the artillery have been destroyed. So for the moment, it's a mission that is rather early
the game very much just looks like I'm gonna scout you and then I'm gonna kill you from the other side of the map with artillery.
Of a full big army of troops. So here you start with a few units.
Yeah, and as you can see, they're saying it's a small scale map.
The objective is to progress through the different building, to move from building to building.
You can see they've already used their javelin by the looks of it, and also their.
And so, what this mission is teaching is urban combat here. At this moment, you are facing. There was a tank that was just destroyed.
Yeah, I guess that's also one of the
in a dominant position, overlooking
crazier things as well. Is like that every squad probably has AT capabilities. Like every
with a tank, with
United States Marine Corps
and
squad probably has a javelin or multiple ways to kill armored vehicles.
The right way to play is to go around on the left side. You have different buildings.
Well, they said there's 8 factions, Monty, or 8 individual videos, which I can only assume.
Dropping some smoke with your mortar.
Will
at the beginning of the
like each video they do will be a different faction or a different branch of military. I imagine there's probably I don't know who the enemies are. Probably Russians, right? That's generally what these games always. I say enemies, the other faction I should say, not enemies. The other factions always end up being like Russians or Chinese.
So using the line of sight, it's a very important part of the game.
It's for Vanguard forces, what's that?
Buildings, you hide inside buildings, you can move through them and stuff like that to gain a position advantage over the enemy.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you gradually build up your force. And he did say at the beginning of the video, this is one of the small scale ones. I mean, I imagine this right here opens up into that massive map. Like right now, you're literally, if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, you're in like the tiniest part of the map. So for scale, you can see how big this is. Like this could be a battlefield alone. I mean, look at what it opens up into.
And let the unlucky vehicle that took a hit anyway try to go through without being hit.
Well, you know, sometimes things don't go according to plan.
Also, by the way, the sponsored stream is now over, but I want to watch this video.
That's the first
in its entirety, so we'll stick around until it ends.
Infantry
Anyways, there's like 25 minutes.
Building to building with artillery support, vehicle fire support are also here.
Are you supposed to micro like a million units? Yeah, I mean that's always the problem with these type of games.
So top attack missile, it goes in the air and
that's cool.
Arrived from the top on the vehicle
Did it hit?
To inflict a maximum of damage, because we have a system of orientated armor. Generally, the vehicles have more armor on the front.
I think for the most part, it comes down to like how easy it is to group units together and push when it comes to micro, and also how's the time to kill? Like, is the time to kill instant in the game, or can units take a bit of a pounding and you actually can get to them before they end up dying?
So, pretty strong unit that we have here.
I have a question for you. Of course, Broken Arrow has a degree of realism to it. What can you tell us about the approach to the gameplay, and what kind of realism can players expect from Broken Arrow?
Well, clearly, this is not a simulation. People expecting a simulation will be disappointed. We're not making a simulation. We're making a game that has realistic setting. These are all real vehicles, real weapons.
Yeah, so it's like
but this
that's a
remains,
really good point
a
to make. Like,
fictional
it's not a
war during a
realistic,
fictional
it's not a
conflict,
realism game.
Because, in fact, even simply with the list of units,
It's like a video game that is authentically correct to weapons,
you can have units that have been
rather than a
retired
simulator.
today. Like, I forgot to talk about it earlier, but for instance, the tanks of the Marines, you have the M1A1 Abrams in its latest version, like AVP, HC, stuff like this.
Yeah, and that's what I mean
We
there, is
also
like,
included
that's not an
the
issue if the
M60,
time to kill isn't
the old
instant. Like, as long as you
M60
have
Battalion tank,
a reasonable amount
the
of time
latest variant, of course, but
to do
this tank
something
was retired
about
after
the situation, then I think that's
Desert
fine.
Storm, in the 90s. So we have side by side.
But I also know that other people do
units
just
that
love
have
that
been retired today,
that style.
Units that are prototypes that were tested but cancelled for.
Now the real question is, can I bring down a Gundam into the battlefield?
Also some
Can I like mount a
vehicles,
storm
some
surge and bring it
weapons
into
that
battle?
Don't yet that haven't yet been accepted into service. They are currently being tested or currently being produced. I mentioned like the ground launch Tomahawk. This is something like that is being developed at the moment. Like 2 Tomahawks.
They only have
on
space
a
capabilities.
unmanned GLTV
God damn.
platform.
You told me.
This remains a fantasy war in a realistic setting. We have
You cast Pit of Shade. That'd be pretty strong. What would win, a Tomahawk missile or Pit of Shade?
With the scenario editor, and we want people to be able to create what they want. If they want to create a simulation with only the vehicles that were available this year, they can do it. They use what they want. If someone wants to make something really
Yeah, it
crazy,
seems like the time to kill in this is actually quite high.
which, like having units side by side. That
And I wonder if
never
people are
met
going to get
each
back in
other.
bed. Oh my god.
This is possible too. Each person will really
Get absolutely
choose,
railed. Oh my god.
the level of
Look at that
realism they want
A12
to put
Viper just
in their scenario.
leveling that
And
village.
For us, we are avoiding the most blatant anachronism, but we are not making a historical game. We're not trying to tell a period of history. We are not making a simulation game, even if we have a lot of elements that are very.
Yeah, I mean the scale is crazy in this game.
This is a bonus. This is not our objective.
Like, wait, you just spent like
Objective
15 minutes
is
just clearing
this
this, and that's like
perfect
such a
accuracy.
tiny part of the map.
We want to put the gameplay first. We want to have a game that is enjoyable to play, that is beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope a lot of the civilians are evacuated.
Sounds great. All right, so while we're talking about these the scenarios continuing, what can you tell us about what's happening on screen?
So right now, yeah, we skipped a bit the mission, sorry. So what happened? So the anti-air battery, the surface-to-air missile battery has been destroyed, so the player now get access to helicopters because they won't be shot down in a distance. And it's not me playing, the guy. When I mention he, it's the person playing. So he's using the helicopter to snipe the artillery with a Hellfire missile.
That's quite nice as well. Like a lot of the units, like a lot of their OP weapons are very much,
at the same time conducting,
you know,
an
limited.
assault with the amphibious troops
by the looks of it.
Through the canal.
Wow, really like this sim. It's really really
by the way,
cool.
you can see here the countermeasures on the helicopters. Because
Let's see, being the US Marine Corps, they have amphibious tanks.
A missile, and you don't do anything, generally the missile will hit. There is very little probability that you will be able to avoid it, unless you have special jammers.
That's how
that will change.
What is it called?
But
The old
shot at,
RTS
you
game,
will be
Supreme
hit.
Commander was.
But there
It'd be like, oh, you completed phase 1. Here's a
the
massive part of the map.
The countermeasures of the helicopters that will allow you to shift the advantage, to shift that to your advantage and make the missile miss. But of course, these elements are limited in the number of use, so that.
Well, they just drop paratroopers.
Countermeasures.
Looks like, yeah, or supplies maybe.
You better be away from the enemy air defense because that will be a bad situation for you.
By the way, I really wanted to mention one element of map design in this specific map that we're looking at. You can see that the map was built with a few landmarks in mind. For instance, here we're seeing a star fort dating a few centuries back, I guess, which was aimed at protecting the harbor, I would imagine.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's really cool that you get to fight around a historical landmark like this.
Yeah, we're basing our maps on real places on Earth to get this.
Yeah, it seems quite easy to bring people in as well.
We also, so the place we're choosing are always places with landmarks. Like here, you can see it's a big harbor with the containers, the depot, or well, I don't know how it's called. The place where you put all the containers, storage, I guess, container storage area.
Yeah, the AI is getting absolutely torn apart.
The cranks to put them in the ships.
Yeah, these helicopters are insane.
We select places that really matter at the scale of the map.
Yes.
Because, well, the fort, it's nice.
Let's get vote. Out of the 4 games, what one do you guys think you're most looking forward to?
And we have all the stuff like
Now we've seen all 4. The Chariot one, the World War II HQ,
refineries.
this.
They
What was the
take
other one?
a lot of space on the map. They are the map. And that was important.
I don't remember what was the other one. Brilliant blank.
Yeah, to have maps that if players have to play and say, oh, let's play on the map.
Oh, they're shooting something back at the helicopters.
To learn the name.
Logistics, yeah, I'm not sure how, like, if there will be more of like a larger scale campaign, because I know that the Medieval Kingdoms, yes.
And the roads, that's not so.
Because I know the Red Dragon one had a campaign, or a bit of a campaign.
They can be one like that. If you have 20 maps like this, it's not very cool. Here what you see, it's an airstrike.
Oh, here we go. We just dropped the airstrike down. This is going to absolutely level them apartment blocks.
The player has defined a strike area. You can define the length, the orientation. So here it's a short strike, so the bombs will land precisely. But if you drag and drop further, the bomb will be spreaded along all this area. And you can orientate it. So if you want your planes to make their attacks coming from
I think for me,
in the enemy air defense,
probably this is the most
that,
exciting.
And you will see.
Oh my god, look at it. Oh my god, it's going to level up.
You have your strike. So, well, the objective here was to destroy the building, but it's a really tall building, large. So these are smaller bombs. It's 250 kilograms. So they're not big enough to destroy, but you will see.
Yeah, the World War II headquarters was quite cool.
There is building.
I mean, make sure you sign up to the beta, right? And then you'll be able to. I'm sure they'll be giving that out like hotcakes.
The more troops you can put into it, like
so you can sign up to the beta of that, and also Kingdoms as well. I think right now.
You can put different squads and mix them all together in this building. And this system.
Yeah. Oh my god, that apartment block
had
64 people in it.
A giant helicopter. Let's take the biggest helicopter of all. It's the Mi-26, the Russian giant helicopter that can that can carry other helicopters. You can put more than 100 people in this helicopter. So if we were limited to a single squad inside of this helicopter, that would be totally a waste. We have a system of slot of infantry emplacements, and as long as you have free slots in the vehicle, you can put more troops. If there are casualties and you've lost people in a squad, this is taken into account. So let's say you have 20 slots.
Yeah, I assume he's just holding this until he can push up and take the apartment block.
You have 2 squads of 13 Marines. If they have taken casualties, and you have
that'd be very interesting. Someone else picks up like that
would be 19 people.
The lore or the machine gun if someone goes down, or if they just lose it.
Dynamic.
Or if maybe they die last as well.
It's not taken for granted because not all games do that.
So here, once again, done with the editor, it's a cutscene. So you had the fade to black. Once again, you script the fade to black. You script that you launch a cutscene. So this is a recorded video. That this is an extra. You can record an extract from the trailer that is in there. This will be part of the mission. And you play your trailer. You play your fade, and you're back in the mission.
Yeah, and look at the scale of the game. It's crazy.
And that's it. You do that with the mission editor. This is our tool, and this is the tool we're providing to the players.
I really like these aerial duels.
Well, here it's a 2-on-2. It's a double duel.
Yes.
Shall we call that a quatuor?
Yeah, we can.
Well, no,
I wonder who is going to win.
They are not playing together.
Yeah.
So, air-to-air combat. So there are several things that you can note. The interface is still a bit placeholder here. We have some missing elements, but the key elements of the air combat is so you can see in the buttons on the right when the plane is selected. You have the possibility to switch the altitude.
That's cool.
You have the possibility to activate the afterburner, and you have bombing, striking.
19 flares.
Jesus. Here, this
Jesus.
plane is changing altitude, for instance, and the afterburner is a way to go faster. But
Get more
at the
planes coming
cost,
out, but
which
yeah, you
is
can see like the
consuming more
scale
fuel
trying to
because
conquer all of that.
there is one
This is
green
like an
bar that you can
island
see on
map,
the
for
picture of
example.
of the plane, which is the
Another one would be pretty crazy. But guys, I think that's what we're gonna wrap up the stream today. I think we got a good idea about Broken Arrow. Definitely one of the ones I'm really excited for. But we've got some cool games. To see a bit more about what Slitherine are up to next year. Lots of betas and other stuff. You don't want to micro the planes. You can see the rest of them. And that's actually one of the carriers as well right there. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Obviously, massive thank you as well to Slitherine for sponsoring the video. If you guys missed any of the announcements they did today as well, the VOD will stay up so you guys can check that out. Once again, massive thank you to Monty for that insane $300 donation. Very much appreciate that, my man. That goes a long way. So thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate everybody tuned in. If you guys could drop a like down below if you enjoyed this stream, it helps out massively, especially on a sponsored stream like this. And yeah, I'm gonna head off now. Again, you guys can go over and finish up the stream. But I think we've had a good view of it, so definitely do go over and yeah, check it out if you're interested. It's just for Slitherine Next Game right there. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really, really, really do appreciate it. Exciting year for Slitherine for sure. I'll see you guys in the next one.